down the middle, and I'm just going to do the two sides, two each. And here I could do common factoring. Watch. Over here, my common factor is 2 and a cube, leaving me inside parentheses with 4 divided by 2 is 2s plus 6 divided by 2, common factoring, 3 and the t, which stay inside. And if you need to, you may want to refresh on common factoring, factoring out a common element of a polynomial. So I did this side using the common factoring technique. 2 cubed, the common factor, pulled out, and in parentheses, what's left when I divide each side by that 2 cubed. So I'm left with, in parentheses, 2s plus 3t. And that's how you do common factoring. Now we're going to do common factoring on the other side. And remember, it's a negative sign here, so things are going to be a little different, but they'll work out in the end. Again, I'll make parentheses. And my common factor here is 3. 3 goes into 6, and 3 goes into 9. That's the highest common factor. And I have an r outside because there's an r on each side. So I pulled out the common factors, 3 and r. I divide now both sides, and that's what you're really doing. You're dividing both sides by the 3r, just like here I divided both sides by 2 cubed, which I pulled out, and that's how I got that middle element. Now I have 6 divided by 3 is 2. The r's cancel, s. I'll bring down that sign. 9 divided by 3 is 3. The r's again cancel, t. And look, it almost works. It has the wrong sign, but it's almost there. Really, things do work out at the end, and here's why. If that center sign was a plus sign, it would have worked out. The middle pieces would have both been the same. But because this is a negative sign, it turns this sign into its opposite. If it's a negative, I change it to positive. If it's a positive, I change it to negative. Now, in this case, it worked out to be a negative, but because the center sign was negative, and only when that center sign is negative, this sign will change. So it becomes positive, and I have 2s plus 3t, not minus. It changes to the positive sign. So the insides match. That is one of the factors, the 2s plus 3t. And chances are, if you did the first part right, that would already be one of the factors right there. 2s plus 3t. Because that negative sign changed the negative we had here to positive, so they matched. 2s plus 3t is one of the factors. The other factor is comprised of the outer numbers, the 2q, and I'll make a parenthesis for that, 2q, and I use the center sign, the minus 3r. So in lesson 1, we had it with a plus sign, and I didn't have to change signs in the second part. It matched automatically. Those inside pieces matched. Here, you had to change the second one, but when you did, because of that negative sign, it ended up being the same. It worked out in the end. The outer numbers use that sign between them to make the other factor, 2q minus 3r, and 2s plus 3t are the two factors. You already had one of them just by doing 1/4 of the work. Now I'm going to use FOIL, a good technique to check. And my answer should come back to the original, 4qs plus 6qt minus 6rs minus 9r. Okay, so now I'm going to FOIL as a check and to make sure I did it right. 2q times 2s is 4qs. 2q times the 3t, the outer, is plus 6qt. Negative 3r and 2s would be 3r times 2 is negative 6rs, and negative 3r and positive 3t on my signs is negative 9rt. So let's see if all the elements are there. I have my 4qs, I have my 6qt, I have my negative 6rs, and my negative 9rt. It worked out to the original, so these are your two factors. That's your check by doing FOIL and proving that your factors are correct. And that's how you factor by grouping.